Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, evening, whenever it is that you've had time to watch this, whether it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it doesn't matter. We're just glad you're here for our online video slash mail-in hybrid. As always, if you are not receiving our mailers, that includes our reflection sheets, our questions, our activities, all of the coloring sheets, all of that. Have your parents contact us at one of the links below, and we would be happy to share that. We're about to wrap up our Advent series, but you can go back and watch those videos if you want. And then we'll be picking up with our beatitudes, where we left off before Advent. Now, for those of you who don't know what Advent is, it's that season that we build and prepare our hearts for the birth of baby Jesus. We sit and we reflect and play with and think on the hope, the peace, the love, the waiting that came before Jesus, that came to prepare the way for Jesus. And we think it's really important for us to sit in that and to take the time to reflect on that before we jump to the presents and the excitement of Christmas Day. So today our lesson in the Advent series is called Choose Love. I'm going to start by reading from Luke 2:15 through 20. If you want to follow along, you can pause here and run and get your Bible real quick. But if you'd rather just listen to me read, that's totally fine too. Okay, it's Luke 2:15 through 20. As the angel choir withdrew into heaven, the shepherds talked it over. Let's go to Bethlehem as fast as we can and see for ourselves what God has revealed to us this night. Because angels had just showed up and told the shepherds, hey, there's a baby that was born for everyone in the world. You want to go find this baby? And so here the shepherds are saying, let's go see what God has said. Let's go find out if this is true. And so they left running and they found Mary and Joseph and the baby Jesus lying in a manger. For them, seeing was believing. They told everyone they met what the angels had said about this child. All who heard the shepherds were amazed at what they said. But Mary kept all these things to herself, holding them dear, deep within herself. The shepherds returned and let loose, glorifying and praising and singing God for everything that they had heard and seen, because it turned out exactly the way the angel had told them. Have you ever looked forward to an event for a long time and imagined how it would go? Only for it maybe not to happen the way you expected. Maybe it was a family vacation, a birthday, summer camp, first day of school, last day of school. It's easy to feel really disappointed when things don't work out the way we plan. You can get lost in all your expectations, all the way you thought things were going to happen, and even close your heart to what's happening in front of you because it's not exactly the way you pictured, so you don't take the time to enjoy it. You're too busy thinking, well, this isn't what I wanted. And that's fair because sometimes we plan for things and we imagine things and we get excited about things, and that's all okay. But sometimes when we lose it, we're kind of like, even if it's good, you don't really want it anymore. And sometimes that closes us off from enjoying very wonderful things. In this story, Mary's baby was born and placed in a manger. Animals, hay, and strangers surrounded him. Then, as they were trying to rest, a whole group of sweaty shepherds would just run all the way across town, came walking in to meet Jesus and Mary. This is probably not any way Mary expected the birth of her son would go. She could have looked at the shepherds and said, no way. I'm tired. I just had a baby. This kid is screaming his head off. Out. But she doesn't. Instead, she invites them in and opens her heart. She chose to listen to their amazing story about meeting angels and tell them her own amazing story when an angel came to her, maybe. And because she chose to be open, the shepherds left to share more of that good news, more of that story with everyone. And Mary was able to hold those experiences, even if they looked different than she thought. And she could hold them in her heart and remember them. What do you do when things don't go the way you want them to, the way you may have planned them? When you feel nervous or afraid and the ground feels like it's shaking beneath you, do you lock your heart up tight? I sometimes do. Sometimes people lock their hearts up because they think it'll protect them from disappointment or from being hurt. They lock out strangers who may become friends. They lock out different places that might become places where they belong. The problem with locking your heart is that it doesn't actually protect you. It keeps out all the love that people want to give you and that you can give them in return. When Mary opened her heart to the unexpected, she chose love. When Mary opened her heart to the unexpected, she chose love. Choosing love transformed her heart, and it transformed the world. She shared her love with strangers who became friends, and those friends chose to share the message of love with everyone they met. This is what happens when you open your heart and choose love. You can't help but share it. You can't help but share that message of love. Now, if you got our mailers, you have some discussion questions. So you might not need me to read them, so you can pause and go do that now, or you can do it after the video. But for those who don't have our mailers, who aren't receiving that, I want to just share those questions with you. And even if you have them, maybe this will help you answer them a little bit better. So the first is, what do you think it was like for Mary after Jesus was born? Can you imagine some of the fears or worries she might have felt? If there's someone in your house who has had a baby, you could ask them, what was that like? How did you feel? What emotions or fears or worries came up? And what do you think helped her to choose love in that story that made her say, yes, come on in, shepherds, meet my new baby? And can you think of a time when things didn't go the way you expected and you felt afraid? Share that story with the people with you, whether it's your family, your siblings. And if you don't have anyone with you, you can journal about it that time and what it looked like and how it felt. Did you choose love? And that's okay if you didn't. Sometimes we all get afraid and we choose to back away. But imagine if you had chose to open up and be open to the unexpected. What might have been different in that moment? And what is one way that you can choose love this week? Make time to check in with each other later and encourage each other to keep doing that. How can you do that creatively, especially because we're so limited in who we can see face to face? So you can help each other come up with ideas too for how you can choose love and choose to be open and choose to open your heart and choose to spread a message of love. So you guys can talk about that with each other as well. Because we treasure love, we're going to create a 2D treasure chest. Think of like where a pirate might keep their treasure. So you're going to take a piece of paper. Any paper will do, construction paper, printer paper, however you want. And you're going to take it. And first, so my paper didn't fold even, but that's okay. I like my things to have a little bit of character. So you might do yours a little bit more careful, but however you want to do it. You'll take your paper and you'll fold the corners down into a triangle. So just like that, like you're starting a paper airplane. And then what you're going to do is take your triangle and bring the point down to the middle. So it's kind of like an envelope, you see? And now, if you have our activity sheet in the mail, you can cut out some of the pieces we have there. And I'll show that to you right now so that even if you don't have that, you can draw your own and come up with your own ways that you want to do this. So as you can see, you have a few different options for cutting things out and gluing them or taping them to your treasure chest. All of these small pieces are just like little decorations and gems that you can cut out, color, and tape. You can also just draw those if you want, and you can decorate the outside of your treasure chest any way you want. Also, you have this little triangle that you can take and cut out and glue here to the lid of your treasure chest. Once again, you can just draw that on there if you want. That's probably what I'm going to do since I don't have a working printer. So I'm just going to color and draw kind of based off of this cool little design they have with maybe some of my own story flair. And then you can cut out the choose love circle, or you can just write choose love, or make your own choose love circle to cut out and tape or glue under the flap. So whenever you fold the lid down, you can't see it. But you remember that when you open it up, the way you open up your heart when you choose love, you'll see this reminder down here to choose love. Because sometimes we need to be reminded to do that, especially on days where love just feels so hard to find. And you can put this on your fridge. You can use it in your Christmas decorations if you want to put it on your tree. You can put it on your mirror in the bathroom whenever you're getting ready in the morning. Just someplace to remind you that we treasure love and that it's a gift we give to each other. And it's something we have to choose every day. Thank you so much for being with us today. And so I hope you've enjoyed this series on Advent. I know I've loved doing it with you. We're going to close out today with prayer. You can repeat after me. You can say your own prayer if you want, or you can just listen if you're not really sure how to pray, however you're most comfortable. Loving God, thank you for loving each one of us, me and you, no matter what. Choosing love is hard, especially when we are anxious and frustrated. Give us the courage to open our hearts like Mary did and choose love even when it's not easy. Amen.